Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here. We are going to continue our journey through the first, but I have to get some quest turn-ins done with Gavtia. We're currently in the interdimensional rift right now to turn in Sigmascape or something like that. So we're continuing into the normal raid series. I may start Ruby Doomsday. That's the Whirlic Raid series. That has a very interesting story. Very interesting story. We are going to tackle the first Alliance raid in the Shadowbringers series, the Copied Factory. I have no idea how long that queue will be, so we will queue for it while I'm turning in some of these quests. And then I may speak with Reen near the Derrick to start that quest line. And we will continue in our MSQ with A Sleep Disturbed. And with any luck, my kitten might sleep undisturbed for a little while. She's a little chaos kitten, let me tell you. Jake is currently napping. He's 15 years old, 15 and a half now. And, older cats nap a lot more. So, and he may or may not make an appearance. He's more of a morning boy. He came a lot more during my morning streams than he does during my afternoon ones. All right. Let's turn in this quest with Sid. Thank the gods you're fast on your feet. When I first saw you'd be facing a train of all things, I assumed I was hallucinating. That's not the first time we're going to be tackling trains, let me tell you. But with that oddness behind us, we can be fully certain we have the right set of data for the Sigmascape. From what we've been able to determine, there is a recreation of a devastated world. Unfortunately, we have not found any clues as to its origin. We came across several familiar terms, Doma included, but the arc of history is inconsistent with our own. Given that Omega draws from realms that could be fictional or even other dimensional, we can only guess at the source upon which the Sigmascape is based. But if it was fictional, it seems safe to assume that the author had a bad experience with a train. Yeah. What does Nero say? The glorious absurdity of it all. Even you must have managed to smile. One wonders what Omega has in store for you next. A delinquent rowing boat, perhaps? Or an angry cable car? It's our boilmaster. The kettle is empty. Oh, that's sad. We need our caffeine, you know. Quay, says Alpha. Well, let's pick up this next one from Sid. He wishes to discuss your next opponent. I expect you're still recovering from your last fight, but we should probably go over the details of your next opponent all the same. According to our research, you'll be pitted against a foe known as Chattarnook. Chattarnook? Yeah. Chattarnook. Not a train this time, but some manner of animated painting. To be perfectly clear, the name refers more to the evil spirit that's taken up residence within the picture, but the picture part will be key to our strategy. To that end, Nero has thrown together a little something I thought might be useful. If he'll deign to talk to us. Anytime soon. Thrown together, he says. Do you know how difficult it was to translate your abstract fancy into an actual tool with practical applications? What you demanded was nothing less than a miracle, and a miracle I have delivered. He's nothing if not full of hubris. Sid says, I seem to recall you insisting on constructing it yourself. Still, credit where credit's due. Well done. Nero just sighs. History will appreciate my genius. To you, I present the fruits of my labor, the chocobo brush. I won't confuse you by trying to explain how it works. Well, thanks, Nero. Thanks. But suffice it to say that I have adapted the tool to combat the peculiar nature of your rival. Put simply, you will be able to directly influence the specs or the space around you by painting pictures. Naturally, this process will require paint. As for the color, subject, and efficacy of your masterpieces, well, that shall depend entirely upon your own artistic sense. Oh, that's great. I'm art impaired. I have trouble drawing stick people. Now, back to you, Garland. Do you notice the absence of a steaming cup in my hand? If you truly valued the efforts of your colleagues, you might consider filling the bloody kettle from time to time. Or is it that another task his lordship, the chief, can't accomplish without the help of his subordinates? Sid says, now listen here, Nero. I apologize for the damn kettle, but this has nothing to do with my upbringing. Alpha's just going, oh man, I'll do it. I'll take care of the darn kettle. You people just keep fighting. Oh, sorry, Gav. A little distracted there. Talk to Alpha when you're ready, and we can see about crossing the Chatternook character off the list. There was really no need to make it resemble a brush, but as we had a ready supply of chocobo feathers, I thought, why not? Now, let's see what it's capable of, shall we? All right, let's see if the boil master's filled up. Psh, psh, yep. Next to the kettle is one of Alpha's cards, its face illustrated with a depiction of spring water. Quay! Quay, quay! Alpha appears keen to begin the next encounter. You may enter Sigmascape V 2.0 whenever you are ready. All right. I actually got that in one of my duty roulettes the other night, so that's how I ended up getting it done. Now I have to speak with Sonny at St. Mosian's Arboretum. Let's go to Idleshire. My apologies for my voice. It's been dealing with this crazy bug and asthma for a while. It's super annoying. Oh, I know, I need to go this way, yeah. I got turned around in here. We did finish up St. Mosian's hard version the other day, too. Sonny. Sonny has the most hilarious outfit on. Fresh air at last. I tell you, it's clammier than a goblin's arse crack in there. I don't want to know how clammy a goblin's arse crack is, okay? There's just some things I don't want to know. I got out a few moments ago, but I won't be going back in anytime soon. I wouldn't want to either. I saw they cleared a path for Midnight Dew and Edgith, though. Hopefully they'll be on their way back out about now. Midnight Dew says, sorry to have kept you waiting. Edgith says, "Oh, you must be Gav. I'm Edgith, the botanist of sorts. Perhaps Sonny or Midnight do mention me, or perhaps not. Anyway, I'm very grateful to you for helping us discover the secret of that bizarre ooze. You see, the research materials we found mention a concoction for rapidly turning plant matter into compost. It seems the mud was used to cultivate the ingredients for the formula. According to the Charlian reports, well, I'll spare you the details of its botanical jargon. Let's just say the mud makes Seedkin, in a word, angry." Sonny says, "Growth formula for plants is all well and good, unless they're the sort that's liable to bite your bloody head off." Edgith says, "Yes, I'm surprised the Charlians didn't keep it in a safer place. In any case, we can use their findings to breathe new life into the soil of Dravania. As for the Seedkin, a little water washes the mud right off. Allow me to demonstrate." It looks like a much happier Seedkin. We can say. A shame you can't wash that stupid expression off its face as well. Or how about a bit of pruning instead? Let's go with the first one. Sonny says, "I'm with Gav on this one, covered in muck or not. It's a bleeding nuisance either way." Midnight Dew says, Now, leave the poor thing alone. I'm sure it'll behave itself." I'm not sure. "And more importantly, it looks like we found a way to improve our dwindling harvests. And we couldn't have done it without you, Gav. I'll make sure that when the locals start tucking into all these lovely crops, they'll know who to thank." Aw. All right. All right, we are going to queue for Copied Factory, because when you queue as a DPS, I have no idea how long it's gonna take. So I'm gonna eat some food, actually. Average wait time 19 minutes. Okay. Well, let's speak with Reen near the derrick. Actually, let's I need to double check my settings, because I don't want full names on. I don't want to dox anybody accidentally. That's just not super nice. Name display settings, party list. There we go. Let's talk with Reen near the derrick. You know what? Let's speak with a resistance fighter on Ruby Doomsday, since we're in the general vicinity. Because then we can kind of stay in the first and not have to jump all over the place. If I remember right, he's somewhere down here. Oh, there he is. On your way to headquarters, I take it? Yeah. Let's go to the Alliance headquarters. Faldolin. To be honest, we weren't sure if you'd ever show up. I, for one, am glad you've decided to throw in your lot with us. Severa says, Gaius says you are our best hope for defeating that abomination. We've seen only a glimpse of its true power, and even that was more than enough for us. Gaia says, "So your mind is set? Then I shall apprise you of the situation. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultima weapon project is being helmed by the reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzean front. Its name, the Ruby Weapon. Severa and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs and made an attempt to destroy it." Severa says, "An attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultima weapon, the explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor plating, but they barely left a mark. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience." Gaia says, "As you well know, the Ultima weapon was designed to absorb ether from icons, and the Ruby weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any were summoned during the uprisings in Garlemald's occupied territories and thereafter consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw." Severa says, "Gaius was injured shielding me from the Ruby weapon's assault. Even now he struggles to stand. Damn it all, if I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened." Gaia says, "You need not concern yourself. Let us not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultima weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it." Vaudelin says, "If you were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hobbled within firing distance. In any case, we can't afford to lose the information in your head on both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Gav's assistance presents our best chance of stopping that war machina." Gaia says, "'Tis true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be him." "Though I have no right to ask this of you, will you lend us your strength?" Gotta think about that for a moment. I'm not one to back down from a fight, or I do this for Eorzea. Gaia says, "You have my thanks." He's not going to comment on Gav's decision on why he's doing this. Vaudelin is saying, "And mine, though I must impress upon you the urgency of our situation. We've received word that the Empire is preparing to advance on the Gimlet Dark. This is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proven correct, the Ruby weapon will be among their host. Should it break through our lines, there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survival of Eorzea hangs in the balance. Once you have steeled yourself for the battle ahead, your escort will lead the way." Kai says, "What price must the world pay for my hubris?" Pretty high one, guys. A short while earlier in the Garlean-occupied city of Wurlitz, something or other that I missed. Engitech engineer, commencing Ruby weapon activation sequence. All units, stand by. That looks creepy. Initiating synthetic orocyte system. Fusion successful, no signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Gutsy female voice. Ruby weapon, codename Darnus. Ready for launch. That's kind of cool looking. They have anything else for us? Not only are the ruby weapon's claws as quick as lightning, they move with an uncanny degree of flexibility and can strike from where you least expect it. Severa says, though I will not be able to join the battle with the ruby weapon, I have been tasked with keeping an escape route back to the airs in front clear, should you need to make a hasty retreat. Veldalin says, given all we've come to expect from the Asians, it wouldn't surprise me if they were behind the summoning of whatever primals the ruby weapon has absorbed. Okay. Fedalin has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Cinder Drift, now accessible. Okay. Duty Finder's been updated. Okay. We might queue for that one too. Alright, speak with Reen near the derrick. Okay, we gotta go back to Norvrant for that. There is a solo instance duty in that Wurlit series of quests that is rough. It's just rough. And I had to consult a couple of different guides. I'm coming here because I want to make sure I got the latest goodies purchased. Because I've got these tombstones to use up. They are not tombstones of poetics, by the way, folks. Tombstones. A lot of people say tombstone, and I get it because it looks like T-O-M-B and not T-O-M-E. A tome is a book. If you don't already know that. Your trivia for today. Alright, let's speak with Reen near the derrick. There's Thancred and Urianger. Urianger says, "'Tis a blessing to see thee so hale." Hey, it's good to see you so healthy, man. Thancred says, "Sorry to drag you all the way out here. I have a feeling you'll miss the place when you see where we're going next, though." Reed says, "I hope the desert creatures didn't give you much trouble on the way here." Like they would, yeah? Thancred says, "I doubt they posed any sort of challenge to him. Would that I could say the same with confidence about whatever fiend may be waiting for us out there. Even if the light that Reen sensed turns out to be nothing of consequence, the empty is hardly the most welcoming of places. Anything that could survive out there is not to be trifled with." Urianger says, "Moreover, it should be reiterated that the light-blasted wasteland poseth as severe a threat as any foe we might face." Okay, we should say again that this wasteland that's, affected by light poses as severe a threat as any enemy we might face. In any event, we are in agreement that this phenomenon doth warrant investigation. Though for lack of more precise means of navigation, we must needs rely on Reen's innate abilities to guide us. Okay, in any event, we agree that, this phenomenon merits investigation. But we lack a precise means of navigation, so we're depending on Reen's innate abilities to guide us. Miriel says, I have formed several hypotheses regarding the nature of the light, but speculation is a poor substitute for first-hand observation. It's okay. I have some theories on the nature of the light, but, guessing is a poor substitute for observations. Gav goes, yeah. Yeah, that's like way more science than I really wanted to go into. I don't see Gav as a bookworm, Reen says, there'll be plenty of time for us to talk about it on the way. Is the sky slipper ready, Thancred? It does look kind of like a slipper, doesn't it? Ready to take us wherever we need to go. Aye, back again, too, maybe, if we ask it nicely. Okay. Miriel says, though the light hath been expunged from Northrant, the ambient ether of the empty is still corrupted. Dangerously so, in fact. Okay, the light's been, kicked out of Northrant, but the ambient ether in the empty is still very much dangerously corrupted. The flood of light devastated everything in its wake. The soil, the air, the water, all rendered incapable of supporting life. So, destroyed everything, basically. 'Tis due to this imbalance that the empty remaineth utterly inhabitable, or uninhabitable, even a century thereafter. Okay. This ether imbalance explains why you can't inhabit this region at all, even after a century. Thancred says, that's why we're taking every possible precaution. Between the aetherometers I've packed and Reen's unique abilities, we should be able to detect and measure any fluctuations in our alignments. According to the Crystarium scouts, a few days out there won't affect us to any noticeable degree. But much longer than that, we risk becoming sin eaters. Ooh, that's scary. Since we still don't know how chocobos and Amuro will fare in the MD, we opted for a more mechanical mode of transportation. This comes courtesy of the researchers at the Mean who found it in the Crystal Tower and restored it to working order. Reen says, it's quite safe, I promise. The person in charge said he'll have parts delivered from the Crystarium should anything break. He seemed quite eager to see what we bring back from the empty, even though I told him we're not hunting for treasure. I'll introduce you if we have a chance to stop by Mordsook at some point. Anyway, I think that covers everything. When you're ready to leave, just say the word. Thancred, everything else? While I'm piloting and Reen's navigating, you and Urianger will be free to enjoy the view and engage in rousing conversation. Thancred's saying that firmly tongue-in-cheek. By that, I mean he can spend the whole time talking at you while you nod in agreement. I love these optional dialogues. They're great. Urianger says, although the flood of light is believed to have expunged all traces of life from the empty, we must remain ever vigilant. We know not what we shall find. Okay. It's supposedly expunged, killed all traces of life, but we have to remain vigilant because, you never know what we'll find. All right, let's go.
Well then, shall we?
Yes. Ingrid says, with a name like The Empty, I wasn't expecting much in the way of pleasant scenery. This is downright depressing. Urianger says, to look on the land swallowed by the flood with mine own eyes. 'Tis a chilling sight indeed. Okay, look at this dead desert. Approximately 9/10 of this world are as this, a slate all but wiped clean. Oh, that's sad. That's really sad. It's 90% of all life wiped out on the planet. Thancred says, were it not for the warriors of darkness in Minfilia. Reen, are you sure we're heading in the right direction?
Yes, I'm certain. There's no telling how far away it is, though.
Thancred says, nothing for it but to keep going then. You two back there may as well take a nap. I have a feeling we're a good few moms ahead of us. I have to say, it's a touch larger than I was expecting. And is it sleeping? That looks like a giant, like, sin eater type thing, doesn't it?
No, it's waking up.
Thancred says, I don't like the sound of that. Is it a light warden?
No, I don't think so. Instead of being filled with light,
It is light. Riange says, the first sin eater. Riange says, long have I strived to unravel the mysteries surrounding the flood of light, to discover what set that terrible cataclysm in motion. Okay, so I've been trying to, figure out the mystery surrounding the flood of light for a long time and, learn what set in motion this horrendous destruction. Every thread led to the same conclusion, the same single point. Thancred says, or single being. I have reason to believe that the entity we see before us is the first Sin Eater, the instigator of the flood, the very foe Minfilia vanquished a century ago. Thancred said, she gave everything she had, and won. But this abomination could undo her work. Riange says, aye, the possibility cannot be denied, though it is oft said that destruction and creation are but two sides of the same coin. Okay. We can't deny the possibility that it could, come back, so it's often said that destruction and creation are two sides of the same coin. Reen, knowest thou of what I speak? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Reen says, the power to shape reality, to bend the laws of nature, for what was once shattered may be forged anew.
Thancred says, that's all well and good, but don't you think we should give it a name first? Danger, Will Robinson? That sounds like a good name. Oh, Reen.
Eden.
The Garden of Life, Riange says, oh, Utopia in Fae. A most auspicious title. Thancred says, well, now that that's settled, perhaps we should find a spot to set up camp. I even brought a couple of tents. On the off chance, but pitching the damn things is something of fine art. Does anyone fancy helping me? My kittens. I have a little place on the side of my desk that's big enough for my kitten to sleep on. Because she loves to sit on my desk, and I've finally just cleared a spot for her so she can keep knocking all my stuff off. And right now she's dreaming and twitching. Yeah, pup tents are a pain in the neck to put up by yourself. Where did Thancred go? Riange says, Though frequent rest may allay the symptoms of prolonged exposure to the empty's ambient ether, 'twould be unwise to linger here overlong. Okay, resting often will help minimize the symptoms of prolonged exposure to the ambient ether, but it would be unwise to stay here for too long.
I never realized that putting tents up could be such a bother. Still, I'm glad that we got here in the end. Thancred should be back from scouting the area soon. Once he's here, we can plan our next move.
During the course of your investigation, you may discover valuable artifacts. These can be exchanged for equipment by speaking with Gulgul in Mordsuk or Yal Yal in Yomor. Do you have anything else for us? Deploy the core. Reen waits anxiously for Thancred to return from surveying the vicinity.
I wonder what's taking Thancred so long.
It's Urianger pontificating.
Ah, there he is.
Thancred says, well, that was rather uneventful. Not that I'm complaining.
Did you find anything?
No, thankfully, there's naught but barren plains in every direction, apart from Eden, obviously. I tried approaching it, and the brute didn't even seem to notice me. I thought it best not to tempt fate, so I withdrew.
We should act now before it's fully awake.
Thancred says, meaning what exactly?
When I think about the flood of light, I get the feeling that rather than destroying everything in its path, what it actually did was stop the flow of ether. Of course, that meant that all of the plants, animals, and people here could no longer survive. They must have crumbled to dust in the years since. But the ether is still there, lying dormant. If Eden is the one that caused it, maybe it can get it flowing again. I don't know for certain, but I think I can use Eden to bring life back to the empty.
Thancred says, now, hold on a moment. What makes you think that's even possible? And how do you expect to control that kind of power? Urianger says, Reen's aspirations may not be as preposterous as thou dost surmise. Okay. That may not be, her idea may not be as stupid as you think. I believe Minfilia halted the flood of light's advance, not by destroying Eden, but by silencing it. And in so doing, she hath gifted us an opportunity too precious to waste. Okay. Even now, the flame of hope burns on. Aye. As Minfilia's successor, it standeth to reason that Reen doth possess the means to exert her will over Eden, but such a monumental task is not to be taken lightly. What sayest thou, Gav? Okay. Reen's, as Minfilia's successor, possesses the means to exert her will over Eden like Minfilia did, but that's a huge task. We can't take it lightly. So, what do you want to do, Gav? We could say, I imagine this is easier said than done, or it would put Reen's life at risk.
There's more at stake than just my life. If Eden is allowed to awaken, who knows what will happen? I have to try.
Thancred says, very well, Reen. You've made up your mind. So how should we go about this?
I have an idea. I've been studying it carefully ever since we arrived, and it seems to me that the light is more concentrated at a certain point. I suppose you could call it the core. That giant Talos had a core too, like a beating heart. It controlled the flow of ether. If Eden's core is the same, perhaps we could use it to restore the etheric balance?
Urianger is thinking there. The theory is certainly sound. By employing Ethernet shards as beacons,
mayhap we could trace the ethereal flow to Eden's core, and in so doing, secure the means to teleport to the very heart of the beast. So, we could... Let me go back and read that. Oh, and say hello to the FC. So Urianger says, if we use Ethernet shards as beacons, maybe we can trace the flow of ether to Eden's core and also gain the means to teleport to the very heart of it. Thankfully, the Settlement Council has kindly furnished us with a plethora of apparatus by which to perform such feats. Okay. Conveniently for us, the Settlement Council gave us a bunch of tools so that we can do this. However, we must needs first have Reen study the entity's interior and chart us a suitable course. Okay, Reen's got to go in there, study the interior, and give us the directions. Once we have reached our destination, I shall fabricate a means by which you may directly communicate with Eden, and mayhap exert a measure of control over it. Okay, once we've gotten to our destination, I'll create a way for you to communicate with Eden directly, and perhaps you can, exert your control over it. You can really do that, Urianger? And he says, all credit is due to a dear friend, a gentle soul long since departed, who imparted to me a wealth of knowledge concerning etherology. Oh, he's referring to Moonbreeda. Although I am certain she would be all too quick to chastise my methodology. Probably. Thankwood says, excuse me for interrupting this trip down memory lane, but I don't imagine that Eden will be too happy about us rummaging around in its innards, for want of a better term. In all seriousness, though, I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of welcoming party arranged for intruders. Perhaps you had best lead the way, Gav? Reen says, it's true that he's the only one who can defeat a Lightworn, but I'd rather not rely on him any more than we have to. Thankwood says, yes, I haven't forgotten that. What happened when he absorbed too much light. But as Alize said, making promises you have no way of keeping is not a kindness. Now, I wish I could put down wardens myself, but the simple fact is, I can't. And there's no point pretending I can. That's why I'm asking Gav. Then perhaps I could... You already have a job to do, remember? The only reason this plan even has a chance of success is because of your involvement. We need you to concentrate on the task at hand and guide us to the core. Not only that, you'll have to keep an eye on Eden itself. If we somehow manage to make it angry, get us out of there. Reen says, are you sure you want to go through with this? Like we're going to say no? This is what I do best, or for lack of any better plans, this one will have to do. Well, just to see what he says there. Why not? I won't let you down. Urianger says, though we will remain here, Reen and I shall do our utmost to guide thee along the ethereal stream. Okay. Although we're staying here, Reen and I will do our best to guide you along the ethereal stream. After thou hast breached the exterior, we shall remain in contact via these link pearls, courtesy of our comrades in the Crystarium. Okay. After you've breached the exterior, we'll remain in contact via the link pearls, kindly provided by our Crystarium comrades. Being relics salvaged from the Crystal Tower, I fear they may be somewhat less reliable than those to which thou art accustomed. Okay. Since they're relics salvaged from the Crystal Tower, I don't know if they're going to be as reliable as the ones you're used to. Eden's Gate Resurrection now accessible. Do you have a new normal raid to go into?
What does Thancred have to say? I can't get this bloody thing lit. It must be because the ether has stopped flowing, just as Reen said. Though if this plan of hers and Uriange's actually work, we might have to stop calling this place the Empty. Yeah, fair point. Time elapsed 33 minutes. Average wait time 30. Oh my god. I may have to give this up. We're ready when you are, Gav. Uriange says, the teleportation apparatus hath been calibrated successfully, and I believe the probability of irreversible disintegration to be relatively low. Well, that's encouraging. Okay. We calibrated the apparatus correctly. And I think the probability of irreversible disintegration is low. Not non-zero, but low. You know, I'm just going to stay in the queue. Oh, I can't even use a mount here. Oh, jeez. All right, the exit to Amarang is up here. All right. Hallow Pursuits? Oh, Hallow Pursuits. That is a job quest for Summoner. Okay. You know what? Let's queue for more than one thing. Because why not? We've done that one. Cinder Drift we can try. Haven't done Twinning, Academia, Anadir, or Grand Cosmos. Oh, we have done Grand Cosmos, okay. And Copied Factory. Alright, maybe we'll get a queue for something else. Not have to wait quite as long for something to happen. Let's go over to Rectica Greatwood. We're going to go over to Fanau. Disadvantage of playing in the afternoons, right? It's quieter, right? I could queue for those dungeons solo, and I may end up doing that. But the trials I don't think I can do. Simet says, the allies of Runka. My, it feels as if an age has passed since you last graced us with your presence. Met says, you look as if you haven't seen us in an age. Is the passage of time really all that different for you, Miss Stell?
Y'shtola says, let us pray these new ruins are not as unwelcoming as the last. Right? Welcome, allies of Ronka, says Almet. We have accomplished much since last you came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Raktika Falls. It was there that we discovered more ruins. Although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring its halls, we determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We all were in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. Y'shtola says, we are grateful that you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that the wisdom my comrades and I seek can be found within. This wisdom could prove invaluable, for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. Almet says, I see, then it is good that you have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding. And it is our duty to ensure you and yours do not want for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent, yet lies within. Ouimet says, come now, surely any threats sleeping within the ruins pale in comparison to those we have faced thus far. Simon says, this is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Run with me, friends, towards the danger. Ouimet says, oh, and who was it pining for the return of our allies that we might venture into the ruins, clutching her staff at night, wishing it were... You promised not to tell. Ouimet says, then I suggest we be going. Get back here. Y'shtola says, remind me, exactly how old are you and your sisters? On second thought, perhaps it's for the better, I do not know. Almet says, pray forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours into the ruins and bear witness to its secrets. Their hearts now burn with a curiosity that is not easily satiated. Y'shtola says, please, you needn't apologize. As a seeker of knowledge myself, I understand full well their enthusiasm, and if not for your sedulous efforts to protect the ruins, we would not be afforded this opportunity. Almet says, speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Kitana Ravel. I keep wanting to say it's Ravel. I think it's Ravel. Ravel is a composer who wrote, like, Bolero. Yeah. Great piece of music. All right. I think we can fly over there, actually. Y'shtola says, even Metselk was taken aback to find a mural illustrating the final days in these ruins. What other surprises do you suppose yet lie within? Simon says, I feel oddly ill-equipped to venture inside, but with you here, I'm sure things will work out. Ouimet says, ready when you are. It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. All right. That's an instance duty, so we're going to unqueue from everything. It is most strange for these halls to be left unguarded. Have care when breaking the seal on the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. All right, it's recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. I haven't reviewed this one, so hopefully we'll get through it without too much trouble. Level sync is in effect. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it'll be synced to level 80. Okay. The solo duties is sleep disturbed. Make sure to have time after this for your cutscenes. Make sure your gear is at least level 8, you know, a high item level. What have I got? I think the item level is 530 for level 80 stuff. Mine's significantly higher. Make sure you're level 80, right? Well, actually, you have to be a level 80 to get in, but if you're higher level, even better. Have your food buff on, too, okay? Have your self-heals on. Let's review these real quick. We have Feint and Arcane Crest as mitigation skills on Reaper. Feint is on all melee, as I recall. So is Bloodbath. That's a kind of a self-heal. Second Wind's self-heal. If you're on a caster, you can use Feint. Okay. Have a potion on your bar for extra healing. All right. So your secrets to success. Know what your mitigations are, okay? That's a huge help. If you can prevent yourself from taking damage in the first place, you'll be much better off. Much, much, much better off, right? If you need to, you can always... Oh, let me get back out of this. You can... Your default key to get into your actions and traits is P, as in Paul. Every now and then, go back and look through all your skills, because you might find some things on there in the tooltips that are, you know, super helpful. I had one time where, like, I didn't even have a skill on my bar because it had slipped off at one point when I had unlocked the bar, and I didn't catch that. So I went around without this Dragoon skill for, like, I don't know, 8 months. And I went, why can't I leap forward? And I discovered it was sitting in my skills the whole time, and I hadn't put it on my bar. All right, let's go do this now.
Come. Our new discoveries are to be found this way.
Walk slowly with me, friends, towards the danger.
The people of Ronka are known to have venerated animals, but these features do not match those of any indigenous species. This is no common beast. Though that much is plain from its proportions.
Lifelike, is it not? One could almost imagine it breathed. Why you...
Giv's laughing.
This owl, by contrast, seems no different from the others we've seen.
The sealed door lies ahead. As you see, one statue is missing. I expect we are meant to replace it as before.
Too simple. There will be some additional defense mechanism.
Probably.
Just a moment. There are words carved into the stone. He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber shall instead waken the beast and know his folly.
Uh-oh.
Wait! Don't!
What? But I only... What is happening? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it lives!
Why am I not surprised? Prepare yourselves.
All right. We figured we'd have a fight. Well, that's kind of creepy looking. Uh-oh. Duty commenced. You trespass more to Laban's sacred ground. In retribution, 4 souls have I bound. Yet to heroes proved learned and wise, a comrade's soul shall be their prize. If you would see theirs set free, answer me these riddles 3. Uh-oh, riddles. Deft to paw with kin do I vie. Though sought apart, betterment of the whole do our efforts descry. What am I? I think a curl. Alas, 'twas the Opo-Opo, keen and shrewd, its spirit exalts ingenuity, a virtue by which the Ronkans did. Uh-oh. For this mistake, a single talisman I shall take. Oh, I messed that up. Ugh. It's fearsome fang, I travel with pack. Together we find harmony, and thus, for peace our land does not lack. What am I? Is a serpent? Wolf or owl? I'm gonna go with the wolf. They travel in packs and they have fangs. Indeed, 'twas the spirit of the wolf their doctrines praised, that they would know peace and harmony to the end of their days. The riddles answer you did discern, and thus to you a soul returns. On my belly do I crawl, but my strength doth prosperity reign within our hall. What am I? I believe a serpent. Indeed, the dread serpent turned protector, lured to slumber ere it tear the world asunder. The riddles answer you did discern, and thus to you a soul returns. My thanks. Desire you that which I yet claim? Then we shall play another game.
A test of mind and memory. Choose wisely and you all may yet go free. Twixt these talisman hide friend and foe. Choose your companions well or sorrow no. Let's do that one. Uh-oh. Let's go pick this one. I'm gonna go... I'm feeling that one. Oh. Well done. Your comrades are assembled together at last. Yet still there remains one trial you must pass. If you would glean the knowledge enshrined in this earth, I would first take the measure of your worth. Meaning we have to fight him. Okay. Great. At least we have all our friends back. One worthy of she who the Ronkans extolled must be strong of mind, body, and soul. Defeat the Huaca. I'm gonna turn them away. Touch of shadow. Failure of this test does not appear to be an option. I'm going to use a rest of time borrowed there. I want to turn them away from them so that they don't get hit by any line attacks. We need to kill the spawns. Victory oft begs sacrifice, but which of you would pay the price?
Here I come.
Okay, so we have to take those away. Let's see how that works. Uh-oh, we need to take one of these. Impressive, says the Huaca.
I will not hold back. It's going to leave a mark.
We're animating something, okay.
This and that and this.
Poison, come gather around me, okay. Go back in here and because that clears the Well fought, hero. The trial is complete. The way is open. And thus I concede defeat. Leave trial's threshold. Not wholly unexpected, but an exhausting ordeal nonetheless. That should be the last of the chamber's defenses. At last we can leave. I'm glad this is over. All right, we did it. I think.
Twould seem the magics have returned us. How polite. Now, what have we learned?
Don't touch.
Ah, we were bound to run into a living statue eventually. And now we can open the door.
Hello, everyone. Wonder what other traps they got inside for us.
He who would disturb a hero's deserved slumber.
Kev's going, whoa.
A tomb, just as I thought. Befitting a hero.
She is Vis. Could it be the Archmage Tiuna? A legendary hero of Ronka, as you surmised. The tales tell of how she smote entire armies with a single incantation. So potent was her spellcraft, though she ever fought in the name of peace.
I thought them no more than tales. To think she really existed.
Well, I, for one, always believed.
Kev's going, what are you seeing, Ishtola?
By the light of fallen stars, great power awakens.
Tiuna was not only a master of spellcraft. It is said she could see truths long lost and hear the voices of men's hearts.
Oh, it's kind of like the Echo.
Naught less than the Echo. In which case, none of this is mere coincidence. A shower of stars setting the sky aflame. And in both this world and the Source, we find individuals within whom a mysterious power awakened at the sight. We can never unpick the why of it. Now, however, I believe we might. Does the scene depicted here not resemble the one we saw when we first ventured into the Katana Ravel? Moreover, does it not recall that which Emmett Selk invited us to witness in Amarot? The final days. If, as the Exarch's research suggests, soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond, might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later, given a suitable trigger? The echo defies explanation by conventional etherological theory, or shall we say modern etherological theory. But if it is a power that once belonged to the ancients, to souls yet undivided... It would seem I have entered the realm of pure speculation, and I call myself a scholar. I shall refrain from making any further wild claims until such time as I have evidence.
Oh, but you've thought of something just the same. And are probably right.
Still, I cannot choose but be reminded of our experience in Amarot.
You can say then you must recall Emmett Selk's dying request, or I will not soon forget it. Let's go with the first one.
Remember us.
History is learned, not lived. We have always protected the tales of Ronka, just as we have protected this place. But we are mindful of what our mothers taught us. We see the past through our own eyes, and speak of it with our own words. Thus do we come to understand it in our own way. But this is not the same as remembering.
Your mothers were wise. Though we witnessed the final days, our impressions cannot fail to be colored by our own experiences and expectations. Those who lived through it would have perceived the event quite differently.
Probably with terror.
We must bear in mind that it is no simple matter to keep the truth alive, or it will die with Emmett Selk and his kin. But we have disturbed Tuna long enough. Fanau will serve similarly well as a venue for our contemplations.
Ah, it's nice of him to port us back here. Stola says, we learn nothing of the Asians, but the potential link between the Echo and preternatural star showers is intriguing. Simon says, Tuna is the reason I took up spellcraft, you know. Oh, never in my wildest dreams did I imagine her tomb would be found, let alone that we would be the ones to have the honor to do so. That's pretty cool. Uimet says, I sorely underestimated the defenses of these ruins. Perhaps Simet was right to urge caution. Yeah, she was. Almet says, by your pensive expression, I take it the tomb has given you much to think about. That as well. In time, the knowledge you have gleaned will lead to understanding, and thus arm you for what is to come. Before you leave, however, I would speak again of the teachings of our forebears, of histories learned, not lived. The legend of Tuna and her exploits has been told countless times over the centuries, yet as it is handed from one generation to the next, the story changes. With each telling of the tale, there are new flourishes, details changed or lost. We can never truly know how she lived, for we were not there to see it. But we are here now to bear witness to your life. We have seen the change you have wrought, the echoes that will endure long after you are gone. And though it too will change in time, I swear to you, we shall do our best to preserve your story. Uimet says, I hope you'll forgive me if I don't make an oath of my own, but I think it goes without saying we could never misspeak of your heroism. Simet says, perish the thought, so long as we are here, there are none among the Vis who will not know of all you have done for Norvrant. Ishtola says,
We are not deserving of such reverence, but we are grateful all the same. You can be certain we will have our own tales to tell of the great guardians of Raktika and the ruins of Ranka. Ahmet says, I pray you safe travels then. As ever, we shall await your return with open arms. It's kind of cool. Ahmet says, as long as we Vis live, we shall preserve the truth of your deeds. Ahmet says, in the short time we've known you, it feels as though we've experienced a lifetime of adventures. Adventures we are not like to forget. Simon says, perhaps we should create a new mural in your honor and as a record for future generations. What do you think? I think I don't know. All right. By all rights, you should be departing for the Crystarium, but Y'shtola does not seem ready to return. Pixie berry cheesecake. That actually sounds pretty good. So does lemon curd slasher tort. Y'shtola says, although we learned naught of the Asians, the insight we gained into the Echo made our trip worthwhile. Before we return to the Crystarium, however, there is a small matter I would attend to in Slitherbough. Might I trouble you to come with me? Oh, yeah. Thank you. After we arrive, we should have a brief word with Runar. Have anything else for us? No. Slither along. I may as well change to Summoner and get the XP on the Summoner. Y'shtola says, Runar appears to be in characteristically high spirits. He's always glad when Y'shtola comes. Jeff, it is so good to see you. You've arrived at a most opportune time. I was preparing a pot of my famous stew. Come, I will ready a place for you. Y'shtola says, I'm sorry, Runar, but we haven't the... Please, I insist it will take only a minute. I don't think he's given us a choice. Y'shtola says, my apologies, Gav. It seems our return to the Crystarium will be delayed. But perhaps only for a bit, if you assist me with my work. I say work, but it is rather more a chore. I must clean my chambers here in Slitherbough from top to bottom. If you'd be so kind as to go and fetch a broom from Osgir, we might finish before Runar is done cooking. Okay, we gotta go get a broom. Okay. We are cleaning. Warrior of Light, Savior of the Universe, Wielder of Brooms. I once knew twins who had hair just like yours. A broom for Master Matoya. I cannot imagine why she would have need of such thing. But here you are. It is old but sturdy and sure to suffice. Okay. I trust Osgir was able to find a broom for us. Better broom, this well-worn broom has seen many a spring and summer in Slitherbough, swishing and sweeping, sweeping and swishing. And sweep-swishing and swish-sweeping. Well worn, good. This would prove difficult otherwise. Though I must say I think I did rather well for not having a broom thus far. I'm afraid to know.
Yes, well, you weren't buried beneath a veritable avalanche of books when you entered, were you? Right. Anyway, it is time I finish cleaning with the help of that broom. What's going on? Are you going to do that? You didn't honestly think I'd do it the old-fashioned way. That broom is more than capable of sweeping by itself, or rather, it will be. Time to rise, to swish and sweep. A tidy chamber you must keep. To this task you shall be bound, until no dust is to be found. Ishtola says, in this one particular respect, I've no objections to following in Master Matoya's footsteps. He's got an etheric Roomba. In future, I may need you to remind me the pursuit of knowledge does not preclude other equally important duties, such as maintaining clean quarters for said pursuit. Oh, Runar. I will dearly miss this place, these people. Master Matoya, pardon the interruption, but the stew is ready. Ishtola says, is something troubling you? You've been rather quiet. No, everything is fine, I assure you. It has been a long day, is all. Ishtola says, I see. Gav's going, I don't know. Ishtola, thank goodness you're still here. Alfino, I thought you were following Ardbert. I was, though I'm sad to say I lost track of him shortly after entering these woods. He seems determined to traverse every ilm of Norvrant in his quest to spread the truth of the Warriors of Light and the Flood. And it seems news of your address to Crystarium precedes him at every destination, making his task all the more simple. It remains to be seen to what end he encourages the people to become warriors of light themselves. But there is no denying that his words have struck a chord with many. Elise says, well, we are all agreed that this is just another Ascian ploy, yes? They've commandeered corpses before and to no good end. I see no reason to think this time is any different, especially when it's that of a fallen warrior of light. That's just creepy. Alfino says, I doubt we'll find more if we remain a step behind. Riange says, his next destination is, in all likelihood, Slitherbough. Alice, are you certain you should be here? Elise says, if you're concerned about Halric and the others, you needn't be. Their treatment is going well, but progress is slow and exhausting for all of us. The best thing I can do now is let them rest. So, I believe we were about to discuss how to arrange a meeting with our would-be Warrior of Light. Alfino says, before visiting any towns or villages, Ardbert would hunt down and slay a nearby sin-eater to earn the locals' trust.
Our best guess of getting ahead of him is to find one before he does. Briange says, thankfully, Thancred and Reen are returned from the empty and have taken up the search. Reen believeth one may lurk beneath the boughs of woven oath. Alpino says, then that is where we will start our search. Master Matoya. A warm bowl of stew will be awaiting your return. Stilla says, I look forward to it. Runar is saying, make sure you say goodbye to me before you leave. Don't leave without me saying goodbye. Looking at combat, maybe. Green says, I can sense no other sin eaters in the area. I hope this means Ardbert will be coming this way soon.
If you were hoping to vent your frustrations on our Issa friend here, I can only apologize.
Few as they are now, it took us no time at all to track it down.
That suits our purpose perfectly. Now we need only wait for Ardbert to arrive.
Weren't you two meant to be attending to the empty?
We were, and are, but we can hardly ignore the rest of the world. So we thought we might see how things were coming along. From what we can gather, the answer is strangely.
Right now, we think we can do more good here.
It is heartening to have all present.
Indeed. We will be glad of the additional hands should matters escalate.
Our quarry has come.
Look, Ardbert's here.
It seems I've lost this particular race. Although I suppose it's only fair. When we first met, it was I who outpaced you. Ravana, was it?
Gav's going, I don't like you.
But where are my manners? I wouldn't be here were it not for you, and I have yet to say a word of thanks.
We can extend a friendly fist or ask whether he wishes Seto were here. I'm going to do the latter.
Poor fellow. He will be sorely missed.
Like, nope. I thought you were supposed to be good at this.
Very well. Let us forego this pretense. After all, it was never you that I needed to deceive. it is I, Elizabeth. Through your time in Emet-Selk's imitation of our home, I dare say you have gained a better understanding of my role since last we met. Not that it matters.
We understand your role, emissary, but not your goal. What is it that you seek to achieve?
I seek to enact the will of the Convocation, of course. If it helps you to think of me as but another Ascian, no different in nature or purpose from the rest, you are welcome to do so.
Once, I would have said your goal was destruction alone. Now I understand that you fight for something you love, just as we do. Yet though we seem doomed to clash, I bid you consider Emet-Selk's final words. Remember that we once lived, he said. Had he not seen some glimmer of hope in our kind, I do not believe he would have spoken thus.
Gav's going, yeah.
None better understood your plight than he. His words must surely be worthy of your consideration.
Emet-Selk. How very unlike you to err so gravely.
Oh my.
That one should stray at the end of so onerous a path is understandable. But I had thought you above such weakness. Mayhap you thought the same. Would that I had been present to offer correction. But I shall do so now, as is my duty, and return all to its proper course. As for you, look at yourselves. Look at your history. Look back 100 short years to how your greatest warriors were undone. And now, at but a word from me, you raise your hands in answer like the puppets you are. Naught has changed. You fail, and you fail, and you learn nothing. Allow that which is most important to slip through your fumbling fingers like so many grains of sand, again and again and again, and you would remember us. You do forget yourselves.
It's quite an indictment.
There is no common ground to be found between you and I, nor do I require any.
From an Ascian point of view, all of these splintered beings are just, ants. Why care about an ant colony, right? You just squash them, get rid of them, get rid of the problem.
I have my duty.
Wait!
Well, we have confirmed the identity of our foe at least. And 'tis safe to say his objective is the rejoining.
But we still have no idea how playing the part of a warrior of light will further his cause, nor why he would spur others to do the same.
Another visit to the Tempest may shed some light upon these mysteries. Whether we are to exchange words or blows with Elidibus at our next meeting, the fact remains, we know too little. Ere our paths cross again, I would learn more of the world that once was, and of Elidibus himself. In this, we would be best served going directly to his home, much as Emmett Selk came to ours.
Though I see the wisdom in thy suggestion, the Amarot we visited is but a phantom born of Emmett Selk's memory. I fear it will teach us little that we do not already know.
I quite agree. Yet the ruins of the actual city remain unexplored. Given the vastness of the Tempest, I should not be surprised were there more such structures like to those in which the Ondo...
Oop, hit that too soon. If there's aught to be learned, I want to know, or for want of better option, or as long as you don't make me do any more chores. Let's do that one.
Keep that up and I'll send you to bed without supper.
Kev's going, what?
Assuming we are all in agreement, then I suggest we first pay a visit to the Ondo. If anyone can tell us where more ruins are to be found, it is them.
Alpino's going, what's going on here, man? It's great. All right, what does Rain say? Thancred told me what La Habrea did to him. I can't imagine how he's feeling right now. Let's see what Alfino has to say. Would that I had found the words to deny Elidibus. We are so much more than he believes us to be, and yet... Elise says, am I the only one who sees the irony in Ardbert calling us puppets? Thancred says, I hate to leave him like that. Gods, they can't even let a man rest in peace. Raja says, disdain and obfuscation. What is thy true design, emissary? Okay. Yeah, basically contempt and confusion. What's your real aim, emissary? Y'shtola would have you depart for the Tempest without delay. Alfino has the right of it. Let us pay visit to the Ondo. We should speak with Tolsh-Oth first. As chieftain, he is doubtless privy to a great many secrets. Let's go to the Ondo Cups. Everything new for us? I'm glad to have the opportunity to visit the Tempest again. It's so lovely here, like a different world entirely. Elise says, this place feels much less ominous than the first time we were here. Then again, we did have the shadow of your impending death hanging over us. There is that. Y'shtola says, don't be shy now. Perhaps we might look in on Post-Shadowbringers while we're in the area. Orange says, mayhap we shall find the secrets we seek in these depths, should their keepers consent to aid us. Okay. Maybe we'll find the secrets that we need to find if they help us. Thancred said the last time we were here, the Ondo sent us to slay a massive creature. It was as large as Leviathan, twice as angry, and... yes, of course, I jest. It was only half as large. I have sent for no finless ones. Perhaps you instead come seeking something of us. Yes, yes, we do. Tols'ath says, ruins which your kind have yet to explore. I see. I know of one such place. Alas, under these circumstances, I am afraid we can spare none to guide you there. Y'shtola says, and what circumstances are these? Rather than hunt for their own meals, the Benthos have pillaged our stores of Miriel liver. They must be replenished with haste. Alphinaud says, the Benthos, a particularly violent tribe of Ando, if I recall. A band of bottom feeders. We all lost much in the flood, but while others work to rebuild, they resort to thievery and murder. Revenge, they call it. When they prey upon your kind, but do not be fooled. They care not whom they harm. Would that we had the warriors to challenge them. This is not the first time they have stolen from us, but there is no resource more precious than liver. All must dedicate themselves to the hunt. Y'shtola says, unless, of course, we were to reclaim the livers for you. It seems a fitting payment for vital information, does it not? Moreover, one could argue that by employing Bismarck to reach these depths, thereby driving back the waters, we are in part responsible for the deeds of those driven to desperate ends by the changing climes. One good turn and all that, or we certainly can't leave them like this, or could we not simply hunt Miriel for ourselves? We might, but that wouldn't discourage the Benthos from stealing from the Ando again, now would it? Reclaim the stores it is, then. We would be grateful beyond words if you did. The Benthos have surely taken the livers back to the Flounder's floor, but be warned there will be no shortage of guards waiting to spear intruders. Y'shtola says, then we will have care not to draw their attention, shall we? Does he have anything else? The Flounder's floor is to the northwest. We Ando keep our distance. Were we not in dire straits, I would advise you to do the same. So where do we gotta go? Ah, okay. Oh, thank goodness we have flying. May as well get the travel XP here. Looks like we have to go down. Ah, I think I see where we gotta go. There we go. Nervous? Me? Not at all. It's a bit dark though, isn't it? Definitely not haunted though. Certainly not. Elise says, they're not much of a threat one-on-one, but Tols'ath was right about their numbers. If we fight them all, we'd be here a fortnight. Alright. I'm going to switch jobs so I don't have to fight all these guys.
Ingrid says, these aren't the livers, but they're certainly stolen from somewhere, unless wheat has started growing on the seafloor since last I checked. Thrusting your hand into each sack in turn, you find that they all are filled with wheat down to the bottom. You also find that raw wheat is unpleasantly pointy. Reen scaled the wall with remarkable swiftness. Thancred taught her well. I'm sure we'll probably have to go up there. But I want to see what's in these. Bedraggled box. These boxes are filled with assorted vegetables. Liver is not a vegetable. Thank you. Thank you for that great information. Clammy cask. On cursory sniff, you detect the faint aroma of fresh oranges, a far cry from the rather memorable scent of Miriel liver. I'd rather have the oranges, thank you very much. So this is much easier if you have flying. I haven't forgotten why we're here, I swear. Only this bird hasn't taken its eyes off me since I found it. I think it might be lonely. Probably not. Shubil is staring at Reen. Just staring. Oh my god. That is funny. Let's go see if there's anything in here. Bulbous bag. From the squelching noise that they make when prodded in the vile stench, you conclude that these bags are bursting with livers. Brilliant. Are those them? Yep. Perhaps you've deduced this already, but it seems the Benthos have been raiding Kalusian storehouses as well as those of the Ondo. Oranges, pumpkins, wheat. But we can discuss this after we've seen the livers safely back to Tol Shaath. Wouldn't do to keep them in suspense. Go back to the Ondo cups. Elise says, I'm glad you had better luck than I did. I spent the whole time fighting one Benthos after another. Ishtola says, I have a feeling that there's more to this. Yeah, Elfino says, so the Benthos have been stealing supplies from the Kalusians. Reen says, I know it sounds strange, but there really was a bird in those caves. Just staring. Horiange says, to venture ashore and steal from the Kalusians entaileth unconscionable risk. Yet there is no denying the truth of our eyes. Okay, so it's a huge risk for them to go ashore and steal from the Kalusians. Thancred says, did you happen to see a bird while you were in the caves? Reen insists that there was one. But how? I am relieved to see you unspeared. Maniri livers. This bulging sack makes a truly heinous squelching noise as you heft it over your shoulder.
Precious livers. I knew you would not fail.
Ingrid says, we also found all manner of foodstuffs from Kalusia in the Flounder's floor. Tell me, Tolshath, does that seem odd to you?
It is brazen, to be sure.
Alphino says, I'm reminded of rumors I've heard recently concerning a rash of thefts from Kalusian's warehouses. The perpetrators enter in the dead of night and are gone before anyone has realized what has happened. The Yulmoran army has been investigating, but thus far to no avail. Perhaps the reason they have struggled so is that their quarry is of the sea. Stola says, the true question then is what we mean to do about it. Much as I would like to proceed to the ruins without further delay, we cannot allow the Benthos to carry on as they are.
Tolshath says, if I may, I believe that the ruins are, in fact, key to the Benthos' plan.
Is that so? Says Y'shtola.
These ruins, which lie deep within the illuminated land, are a recent discovery. We have seen signs that the Benthos are preparing to claim them with all haste. We could not fathom why, but in light of the knowledge that they have been stockpiling resources, it is clear that their queen will soon give birth. They require space to raise their young and food for their queen and hatchlings to thrive.
Y'shtola says, well, we could hardly fault them for that.
Under normal circumstances, perhaps, but conditions in the Tempest are far from suitable for spawning. Its resources barely able to sustain our current population. There's only one reason they would disregard this. They seek to build an army, and with it take revenge upon the Finless. It is not a surprise. They came to us not long ago seeking allies for the cause. We rebuffed them, of course. The suffering of others will not serve as balm to their own. Their queen, however, desires only bloodshed, and will gladly send her children to die in our stead.
Alphino says, if they're planning to wage war, that changes matters considerably. Y'shtola says, indeed. I doubt that this will be resolved without violence, but perhaps with a show of force we can convince them to see reason before the die is cast. I would rather not risk your people in the attempt. If we travel to the illuminated land, is there a way we might identify the ruins ourselves?
Yes, once you reach its depth, go deeper still. You will see a monstrous structure there upon the seafloor. That you have come to us now is the will of the Ancient Ones. They have guided you here that you may drive out the usurpers, those who seek to use their magnificent creations with vile purpose. I have no doubt that they will show you the way forward.
I'm afraid that the dead do not speak quite so clearly. Nevertheless, we shall try not to disappoint. Riange says, if what we seek lieth deeper still, beyond Amarot, I would call upon the assistance of another. Okay, if what we're looking for is even farther deeper in the ocean, you know, well beyond Amarot, I'd call upon help from somebody else. Let's do that one. I don't know when I'm ever going to play a healer, but actually I'm not ever going to play a healer. It's too stressful. Ellie says, why do these problems always turn out to be so much more complex than they seem? Couldn't we have a simple, straightforward adventure for once? The good guy's good, the bad guy's bad, no drama or intrigue, and it all ends up with tea and tarts. The story would be over too fast, Alize. The will of the ancients, if only it were so simple. Alphino says, it doesn't feel all that honorable or heroic to strike first, but if it leads to less bloodshed in the end, well, sometimes there are no easy answers in war.
You need not believe in the will of the ancients to receive their guidance. Like the tide and the current, it is there always.
Reen says, is it wrong of me to be a bit excited? I know the circumstances are grave, but imagine what those ruins might hold. Here's this. I would not care for what happened in Limsa to be repeated a world away. The Benthos know not what they do. Riange has a mind to call on an old friend. Though our course hath been decided, to pursue it we must needs beseech the aid of a friend. Okay, although our We know where we are going, but we need the help of a friend to get there. I speak of Bismarck. Pray, follow me to Sullen, that we might seek an audience with him once more. All right. We need to go to a whale's tail. Let's go to Fort Job. It's probably the closest. Still no flying. It's driving me crazy. And there's no blue quest that we can pursue here. Been a long time since we went along this path. The Forest of the Lost Shepherd. The Thirstless Shore. Okay. Oh, we need to go up that way. Okay. All right. Urianger. From here, we press onward to the Isle of Ken. I myself shall proceed on foot. You've perfected your technique then, says Alfido. Just so, the water will be as glass beneath my feet and provideth purchase, fragile yet true. Watch closely. Stola says, oh, I certainly shall. Elise says, forgive me, but wouldn't it not be easier to perfect your swimming technique? Thinker says, aye, 'twould be a pity if you drown. Truly. Oh, hush, I'm sure it'll be brilliant. Thanker's just going, come on, let's see it.
Alphinaud's going, whoa. He's done it. This is incredible. Gav's going. He lost his country. Ryonshe! Oh, for the love of... Mine apologies. The technique requireth the purest of focus, and mine... 'twas lacking. To perfect this magic, I went so far as to deal with the Fuath, and with their aid, mine efforts finally met with success, albeit on a single occasion. Thangred's smiling, little smile there. I know not why I cannot repeat it. Thangred says, I thought I saw you waver a bit toward the end there. Perhaps you're simply tired? Reen says, Thangred? It's nothing to worry about, only a dizzy spell, though it may not be wise to go for another swim just now. Can we not just take a boat over? Thankfully, we have an alternative, a wonderful little invention. I'm certain you'll agree. I think they're starting to suffer the ill effects of their ether being separated from their body too long. I'll stick to swimming, thank you very much. Alphinaud says, I must admit I'd been keen to attempt walking on water myself, though I know what Alize would say. Do you think these two are really all right? Perhaps we should take a moment to rest. What sort of dealings with the Fuath, I wonder? Before you make some quip about age catching up with me, you'd be out of breath too if you had to drag Urianger out of the sea without so much as a warm-up. It's not wrong. I will petition Bisnark's aid on our behalf. Let us pray my diplomacy proveth more effective than mine experimental magics. Okay. I'll talk to Bisnark, Mark, on everyone's behalf, and let's hope my diplomacy is more effective than my magic. You speak with the voice of the king, little neighbors. I will not deny you. As before, if you seek what sleeps beneath the sea, I will be your guide. Ryanja says, thy kindness is as boundless as the depths, serene one. Before we depart, however, I would ask a favor. After our last flight, I found many creatures clinging to me. I am itchy. Remove them, and I will take you below. Ryanja says, with all haste shall it be done. Okay, we'll get right to it. So, did he agree? Aye, though I agreed to a favor in kind. Regrettably, 'tis not one I possess the power to grant. Bismarck hath asked us to cleanse his underbelly of barnacles. Alas, one must needs dive beneath the surface to do so. Even if I could master the power to walk upon it, it would avail me naught. Oh, for heaven's sakes, is that all? Gav and I are more than capable of that. We're being volunteered again. With the Kojin's blessing, we'll have done with it in moments, and better than that than standing here and listening to this nonsense. I'll take the right, you the left. Now go. I'm being voluntold by Alize. I am in your debt. One must never cross Alize. All right, where do we got to go here? The less swimming I got to do over to the side here, the better. Oh, it won't let me go down. Okay. Couldn't remember how to get down below. Alright, tenacious barnacles. After a good deal of prying it from various angles, you dislodge the barnacle. We gotta get 3 of them. After a good deal of prying from various angles, you dislodge the barnacle. Good. Oh, there's the other one. All right. Got rid of that one too. You can actually ride underwater. Oop, I'm going the wrong way. What did Alize have to say? Well, that was disgusting. I pray will not be required to attend to any other matters of personal hygiene. The power to breathe underwater seems most convenient. Perhaps the Kojin might be persuaded to grant me it when we return to the source. I can swim after a while. I take it you've finished? Would you please keep an eye on Thancred and Miriel? I'm still not convinced they're all right. Well, they're not. Apologies for sending this one out, but it did seem more appropriate for those of you with the Kojin's blessing to handle it. Thine efforts are most sincerely appreciated. I will inform Bismarck that we may depart without further delay. You know, I appreciate your work. Okay, I'll let Bismarck know we can leave now. Much, much better. Thank you, little neighbors. I remember a long time ago, another did this favor for me. After the flood, when I chose the spot for my slumber, he came and made a home on my back. Ken was his name. When I grew itchy, I stirred, but he was not afraid, no. He asked me what was wrong. I told him of the creatures clinging to my belly, and he dove under the water. He helped me. He was my friend. He told me he wished to live in peace away from his people and their wars. This I understood. I treasured our time together, brief though it was. Brief though it always is. But I remember him and how he laughed when we flew. I remember when he slept. I too slept that day, and many days since. But the light fades and the darkness returns. Ken sleeps, but in memory he laughs, and together we fly. And I am here. I am awake. It feels good to speak and to be heard again. A shame others cannot understand me. Urianger says, if thou art willing to learn, I would gladly teach thee the language of man. Thank you, little friend, but it is time I grant you your request. But first, I will take flight to cleanse my body and prepare. The dive will be swift, and I would not have you struck by errant debris. Thancred says, so this island was named for a man. How easily the past is forgotten. Y'shtola says, he passed not even 100 years ago, yet the truth has slipped from history, like so many grains of sand. Might I have some explanation of what he just said, or shall we all stand about making vague and mysterious allusions? Urianger says, while he maketh ready to deliver us unto our destination, Bismarck bade us wait for him on the shore of Calusia. That's all? I feel as though there was more to it. Indeed there was, but it hath no bearing on the task at hand. I should be glad to share the rest with you anon. I'll share it with you, surely. Fine. Later, then. If Bismarck requires time to prepare, might I suggest a short respite, for Urianger and Thancred in particular? Thancred says, I require no such thing. I am the picture of perfect health. Urianger says, mine was but a momentary lapse in concentration. Worry not on my account. You mustn't push yourself so. Please rest. For me? Oh, all right, if you insist. Urianger's just going, whoa. You too, Gav, you've been running yourself ragged. But I feel fine. Thancred says, just go quietly, Gav. Trust me. Gav's going, what? Thancred's going, you know, hey. Go along with the program, man. Don't make waves. Y'shtola says, in that case, I leave the old men in your care. The rest of us will meet you at the Split Hull anon. Word of advice. Never let it show. When she realizes she's struck a nerve, she remembers. By the gods, she remembers. In any case, if we must be made to rest, I know a place in Sullen that's better for it than most. Come with me. Hello, everyone. All right, Urianger says, with age cometh wisdom, or so I pray. Yeah, actually, age does come with wisdom. Either you learn from your own mistakes or you learn from others' mistakes. May as well have a seat. We wouldn't want our elderly knees to give out. To hear her speak, you'd think I'm on my deathbed. By the 12, I wish that girl wouldn't worry so much. Riange says, thy countenance belies thy words, Master Thancred. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Let the record show that I am here under protest. Though I can't say I mind the view. And if the abundance of anglers is any indication, even an amateur might land an impressive catch. Shall we try our hands at it? Unnerved fisher. Help! Someone! Quickly! It's Nightshade. We was attacked on the road from the Crystarium. Barely escaped with me life. I suppose we might have predicted this. Oh, yeah. You mean you'll help? For free? Thank you. Riange says, if I recall correctly, Nightshade is a local band of outlaws. Thancred says, I doubt they'll trouble us over much. No more than they already have by interrupting our relaxation, at any rate. Let's go take care of the problem. Oh no! I fell in the water. Now I gotta swim. Ugh. Alright, let's go get back up on land. Carefully. Composed Fisher. Can you believe this? I don't even have anything worth stealing. Gallant guardsman, never fear, Nightshade ain't no match for the guard. Thaler says. Fortunately, this one wasn't clever enough to bring support. Riange says, I'll save our miscreant to appear unharmed. Everybody's safe except the bad dude. These two have matters well in hand, by the looks of it. Composed Fisher says, I'll not forgive this kindness. May we meet again. Is that you, sir? Don't tell me we just deprived that poor fellow of the honor of being rescued by the Warrior of Darkness. We had no idea you were in the area. Fancy us meeting again so soon, eh? Why, I believe I even recognize your companion. Thancred's going, oh, thanks a lot, man. Yes, from the infirmary. You had a message for the Crystal Exarch, did you not? It's good to see you back on your feet, and on patrol, no less. Oh, it's nothing as official as all that.
Strictly speaking, we're off duty, but as we had a free moment, we thought we'd give a few of the less traveled roads a look. The guard doesn't have enough hands to patrol them regularly, you see. Tancred says, that's admirable. There are few so devoted to their duty in Lakeland or beyond. Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and neither of us is satisfied with just seeing out our service. Feels like we could be doing more, like we should be doing more. It's all about having the will to help your fellow man and the resolve to see it through. I remember you, the excitable one. Very good, Mr. Let's do the first one. Sorry, sir, I got a bit overexcited the other day. Couldn't get my words out. Name's Vonard, sir. I'm with the guard, but I don't just want to protect Lakeland, I want to protect the lot. Just like the Warriors of Light. Sadly, our duties prevent us from venturing too far from our own little corner of Norvrant. What we'd really like to do is travel, to better ourselves, go where the need is greatest. But everyone has to start somewhere, don't they? For now, if we can stop Nightshade from robbing the odd fisherman, then that's what we'll do. Tancred says, well, future heroes of the first, do you think? They want not for spirit. 'Tis but a pity they draw inspiration from so clouded a wellspring. Says they have a lot of drive. It's too bad that their inspiration comes from tainted wellspring. Yet it availeth us not to fret in idleness. We must needs press on if we are to bring Elidibus' schemes to light. Oh, well, but it doesn't do any good for us to, fret around, just stand around and think about it. We have to press on if we're going to figure out what Elizabeth is up to. Out of all those materia, the critical ones, the one that give plus to crit, are the most likely to be useful or able to be sold. Okay. It pains me to think that men with such pure intent are being made to serve Ascian ends, however directly. But they're right, the people need heroes. Thus reminded of the urgency of your investigation, Urianger would press on. Though our respite was cut short, I dare say we are all eager to avail ourselves of such knowledge as the runes may hold. Okay, though, our rest had ended a little early, I know we're all eager to get down to business with the learning what the runes hold for knowledge-wise. Tancred says, aye, and I doubt further contemplation of Elidibus' machinations will be conducive to relaxation. May as well make for the split hull now. I'm going to hit M. Okay, we're going to go over to right. Well, we didn't get much done in the way of the duties or getting into the Alliance raid. But we did make it on nicely on the MSQ, so that's good.
Oh, forgot I can fly here. Reen says, you arrived rather early. Are you certain you did as you were told? Yes, we actually rested. What's keeping Bismarck? Surely it doesn't take this long to shake off a few loose stones. Hey, come on. When you've been, like, laying around in the sea for, you know, a century, things kind of build up. So how much of a respite did you actually enjoy? Half a moment's? That would be about right. Perhaps we ought to have clarified what Bismarck meant by a short while. To his mind, our whole lives might be the blink of an eye. We rested, didn't we, Gav? Yes, we did. Yes, we did. All are present. Now we need but await Bismarck's coming. Oh, those are pretty flowers. 'Tis time. Pray, make ready. All right, it's time. Let's be ready. Anamnesis Anadur, now accessible. All right. I don't want to overdo my voice because I'm still recovering from this stupid sinus thing and bronchitis and all that jazz. So we are going to go to our cat joke. You always have to have a cat joke. All right. What do cats have to do in the morning? This is our cat joke for today. Our cat joke for today. What do cats have to do in the morning? Read the Muse paper. Yes, read the Muse paper. Why did the cat throw his milk bowl? He wanted to see a flying saucer. That one's terrible. All right, cats, and getting the, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. I should have a short up maybe tomorrow. I'll have another video up tomorrow because I just finished editing it. And I'm working on an exciting cooking project. So I'm hoping to get some filming done with that soon. I wanted to do cooking for gamers. So, because I love cooking and I love gaming, and I know a lot of gamers don't know how to cook, and I'm hoping to make a change in that for y'all. And do it in a fun way. Gaming. Incorporating gaming in it. Maybe make some of these recipes from like the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook. Things like that. So, I'm looking forward to trying that out. And, if you can help us out, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That helps our channel grow. And I probably will have another solo duty guide coming out fairly soon, too. So I'm trying to keep working on those to get those out for you, because I know those are super helpful to a lot of people. Just looking at how many people are
viewing them. And I also have some more combat marker guides coming out to where you can see them in motion instead of just as a kind of a static image on the screen. I think that is super helpful. So that way you can actually see what they look like as you're going through them. All right. Cats and kittens, you have a great one. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out.